So I'm a senior curator at the Museum for the United Nations. For those who don't know the Museum for the United Nations, UN Life, UN Life was created in 2005 as an independent institution from the UN, but created to connect people everywhere to the work and the values of the UN by dramatically increasing the number of people taking action on the Sustainable Development Goals. And we are not a conventional museum. We are a new kind of cultural institution, and one institution that aims to empower people to take action on the Sustainable Development Goals through creativity and culture. Can you go to the next slide, please? Today I want to take this opportunity to talk about a project that we are currently working on that is about uniting museums worldwide as an opportunity to take action together. And what we believe is very much that we need global change now, but that global does not exist in the real world. What exists and what really matters is local everywhere. And we believe that through experimental and creative partnerships in over 30 countries over the last years that we have been working with, we have learned that it's only through the local that we can reach the center of people's passion, identity, and hearts. And so local really matters. This is where deep personal change happens through culture, and that culture is for everyone and everyone is a part of it. And culture comes from passion and culture comes from energy. Culture makes us who we are as people. It makes us belong, and it also makes us act in certain ways. So working with culture can help us change who we are and what we believe in and how we live our lives. So it's such a fundamental change in this world where rapid change needs to happen. Culture is a key driver to change. But still, we believe that something is missing. And we already, in all our museums and all of us working with culture, we know that we can engage people through culture. But we also need to create segueways or pathways that connect people to this moment of spectacle and excitement and take people on a journey to change, on a long-term journey. And we really believe that it's an untapped potential to connect the power of culture and cultural works with the finding of big data and behavioral change, the knowledge of behavioral change, and that this can allow us reach and impact at scale across the world. And I'm just taking a sip of water. We know from behavioral science, we know that people need to feel personally affected to change behavior. We know that people have trouble sustaining new behaviors when immediate and tangible feedback is absent, and that people feel emotionally distant from others when other people are geographically or timely removed from them. So climate change issues fall under all these categories, right? And museums are uniquely placed at the same time to tackle all these issues. So you can press new slides, please. So imagine if museums would come together in a global mission where each of the individual museums would use their local physical presence, their historical relevance, their societal trust, their ability to make the world's biggest issues feel relevant and close to people through experiences that connected people in space, in the museums, and across time, with this one clear, razor-sharp purpose to drive change and action. Mm-hmm. And imagine then if we would bolster this impact of each of these locally relevant experiences with a shared opportunity to enable people and enable also museums workers and their audience to pledge and measure and sustain changed action. Not alone, but together, all of us together. And this is really the core of this, that we need as a sector and this world need us, all of us, to stand together, the global, the South, the small and the big, We need to come together as a sector in society, but we also need to open up our museum sector to other sectors in society. And we want to be a part of sending this strong signal by suggesting and creating a tool that can enable us all to measure and drive impact together. So there are many ways to create pathways or segues to connect moments of excitement with a commitment to change. And this one that I want to talk about today is one of them, but we are very excited about this. So if you can change the slides, please. So for one back, thanks. For the first time ever, a diverse coalition of culture and faith and sport and cities and businesses around the world has come together in an unprecedented global campaign to inspire 1 billion people to take action and practical steps to reduce carbon dioxide and to measure this and use this as a tool to challenge their leaders, not just measure and show how each of these different cultural or brands or sports can have an impact and drive change, but also use this as a tool to pressure leaders to obtain policy change. And so CounterSyn was launched last month with TED Countdown, a global initiative powered by TED and future stewards. And Your Life has been one of the founding members of CounterSyn, and we want to spread this tool to both prove and help drive impact of culture for climate change action. So CounterSyn sets out 16 practical and high impact steps for individuals and institutions, so workers and institutions, that they can take to protect the planet. And these 16 steps, they are derived from experts and research of the UN Environmental Programme and other partners to provide a practical way for us to engage audience in action together. So if you go to the next slide, please. So what we are proposing here is so the opportunity with CounterSyn is to create, it's a kind of a no-label platform. So everyone can use this platform. Behind this, there is an aggregator that's created on this scientific grid that's measuring, when you are pledging action, it's measuring the change from your carbon dioxide footprint in relation to what you have been doing before and in relation to the action you are taking. So what we are proposing is to create one platform with Your Life where the cultural sector can come together both as individual institutions, so each of the institutions, and Carrie, you can see I have sneakily been taking data, and each of the institutions themselves can measure and show the impact of their own actions and the impact of the actions of their audiences, as well as this being a platform that can aggregate the actions of the whole sector as a whole together. So it's really a how can you say, it's an opportunity to say we are in this together and we are driving change together. And going forward, one of the things that we really want to explore with this is also not just like the actions that each of the museums can take on their own, but first of all, also how do you connect the experience? So imagine you would be in an exhibition around nature-focused solutions, and then coming out of that exhibition, you would be able to pledge an action around greening your energy. So we want to find actions that are related to the cultural experience in the museum, but also find ways to connect the different museums or to tell stories around how museums are working across different countries around shared topics, but with very different local angles on these topics. Next slide, please. So you could imagine that what would come out of this is one of the numbers would be the full impact of the cultural sector working together to create a more hopeful future. Next slide, please. So my provocation is that museums today help us to understand who we are. With a shared global missions, museum can help us redefine what we can become.